guys. We have a guy in an iron lung. Iron lung. Everybody know what an iron lung is? These big machines that press on your chest and make you breathe. Who's worth 260 million pounds. He read my book. I autographed the book, actually. He came to the seminar. The last seminar before I did at Heathrow, 20 years before, he came to that seminar. And we sold the book, 500 pounds a book. And there was 700 people in the audience, 500 bought. And I mistakenly said I'd sign them all. By about the 50th book, I couldn't hardly hold a pencil. And he's down the line. He's about where the bathrooms are down there, being pushed along in an iron lung. And I'm looking at, he wants you to sign his book. What am I going to say? And then he's getting closer and closer. I keep looking up at him. And now he's where the docs are. He talked to me and he said, my goal is to read it before I die. Fuck! But he lived. And he made $250 million from an iron lung. Comments about, we've already seen Andres in his presentation, but his skills aren't that good. They're infinitely better than they were 2.5 years ago, believe me. He is like a Oscar-winning actor now compared to what he used to be. But he just follows and he just marches on, keeps beating his head. He just keeps beating his head. And now since that, he's done 10 more deals. Yes, are you stretching or scratching your head?
I was stretching, but I do have a question. What was the geographically desirable thing? Which one is geographically desirable?
Well, the geographically desirable is the girl that, you mean the girl sleeps next door?
I want shorter foreplay and more fucking.
Well, no. I didn't want to walk 5 miles. By the time, when I'm young, I wouldn't get tired. Now I wouldn't walk across the street to get laid. Okay, now, but that's 60 years later. So he's got 15,000 potential customers to buy within his little section. 15,000 just to ride 2.5 hours from Leipzig. 15,000. He could buy companies until he's dead. Until he's dead. So when people tell me, I get emails that say there's nothing to buy in Germany anymore. This little chicken shit area is in 60 or 70,000, what he does in Germany. If you're in cybersecurity within 75 miles of Washington, D.C., there's 25,000 companies for sale. 25,000. Yes, sir.
I plan to go into cybersecurity in Benelux.
In where?
Benelux, in the 3 countries.
Belarus?
Belgium, Luxembourg, and Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
Are there any ramifications? Because obviously when I drive 2.5 hours, I'm not in Luxembourg anymore.
I'm not aware of the cybersecurity market in those countries. I know that they exist in the Netherlands, but I don't know about Belgium. I'm not sure about the others, but I do know that they exist. But it's easy. Google cybersecurity Netherlands and get 47 billion. I mean, it's so easy now. I mean, Whipple and I, whenever we talk, which isn't that often, it's so easy now to screen where to go. It's like in the old days, 30 years ago. If you wanted to be in tech, you went to Silicon Valley. I mean, you didn't go anyplace else. And now it's easy. The internet is a great tool between Google fuck and Link fuck. We have guys, and I'm not making fun of these guys. We have a guy in an iron lung. Iron lung. Everybody know what an iron lung is? These big machines that press on your chest and make you breathe. Who's worth 260 million pounds. He read my book. I autographed the book, actually. He came to the seminar. The last seminar before I did at Heathrow, 20 years before, he came to that seminar. And we sold the book, 500 pounds a book. And there was 700 people in the audience, 500 bought. And I mistakenly said I'd sign them all. By about the 50th book, I couldn't hardly hold a pencil. And he's down the line. He's about where the bathrooms are down there, being pushed along in an iron lung. And I'm looking at, he wants you to sign it. What am I going to say? And then he's getting closer and closer. I keep looking up at him. And now he's where the docs are. He talked to me and he said, my goal is to read it before I die. Fuck! But he lived. And he made $250 million from an iron lung. I got another autistic kid. He thought 2,000 calls in a day. I already told you about him. Don't tell me this motherfucker doesn't work. The iron lung guy wanted to know, what does a cunt mean for real? And look at you. Aren't you proud? And your parents probably mistakenly lived vicariously through your sorry asses. Whereas when my father was questioned, I'm proud of Danny, but he is successful in spite of me, not because of me. Well, if your parents are living vicariously through you, something is wrong. Any questions, comments about Andres? How about the iron lung kid? He's dead now, by the way. God rest his soul. Andale pues! Just kind of in-deal joke amongst the pendejos. Go ahead.
Do you know how long it took for the iron lung guy to make his first deal?
No, but I know it took him 10 years to make $250 million. But his doctor said that kept him alive. And I'd like to add a story that he got well, but that'd be all a lie because he didn't. We had another guy a few years ago, another iron lung guy, who, when we had the seminar in there, was going to pay for the knocking down the walls, reconstruction of the room, so he could be part of the seminar. Because he heard about the first iron lung guy. And he only wanted to do it because it'd keep him alive, because he wasn't interested in the money. Now, how did that happen? How's that possible? And then we got you. But my nymphomaniac's my favorite. I can't help myself, Mr. Peña. Son of a preacher. She's the daughter of a preacher man. Cute as a bug in a rug she was. Anyway, at least I hear lose focus here. But Andres, I mean, he's Mr. Preparation. He's Mr. Preparation. As are most of the successful people. Marcus practices. They all take it serious, kids. Most of the high performers, the guys up there and the gals, read all the shit before they got it. They knew it cold. And I can tell from the questions you asked whether you read it or not. But we've had guys, I keep telling you that I've only met 99.9% of the people that have made a gazillion dollars with QLA I've never met. Don't know them, would know them if they walked in the door. But I do know, unless there's a billionaire out there that I don't know about, unless they came to the seminar and I laid hands on them, kind of like a preacher man. I don't know any billionaires out there that use the material free from the website. And I would have thought somebody would have come back to see me. But I could be wrong. Maybe there are billionaires out there. I don't know. But we have, I won't say countless. That would be a gross exaggeration. But we got a ton of people that have made hundreds of millions without coming through here. And I get, a lot of emails. And I'm proud as punch. The program works. Whether the program is going to work 500 years from now when there's only 40, 50 million people on the planet. Remember, we don't have to worry about global warming. We have to worry about the survival of human species, which I just assume die off. Once I'm gone, adios, motherfucker. I couldn't give a shit. Well, I don't give a shit about you now. But when I'm dead, I'm almost assured that my cells are going to give less than a shit about you. Yeah, well, I plan nothing in the near term, believe me. Nothing in the near term or intermediate term for that. But I hate when they say he's in good nick for his age. I don't like that. I want to be in good nick for her age. Not just, but they say that. But some of you in this room aren't in good nick means good shape. Some of you in this room aren't in good nick for your own age. You're a lot younger than I am. When I had all those tests done for my 75th birthday at Mayo, I had the full enchilada from the dementia to everything, and quite remarkable. In the bloods, other than my arthritis, I'm, I don't know about a 40-year-old, but I'm certainly a 50-year-old. Except my feet, I can't take standing long time for hours like I used to. So I wear these spongy shoes now when I'm teaching. Anything else about anything? Goals, audacious, over the top, cannot accomplish in your lifetime. And we'll go through them not on camera tomorrow. And we'll ask for volunteers, which I'll get none. Then I'll say, okay, you. Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Pardon? Goals.
Goals that you cannot achieve in your lifetime.
Yeah.
So you have this grandiose vision and you have this energy inside of you and you're going for it.
Well, are you describing me? Well, because I do have energy.
I'm describing myself. Okay. But then the question is, when you look at the 1.5 million type, and you look at them like a little piece of shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first step, but you got to start. You got to,
Where is that line?
Well, no, it doesn't. But okay, start with 100 billion, and you'll try 50 times and maybe get it once. Generational wealth is built by a series of transactions, and the biggest challenge that you're going to have when you're buying these companies, whether it's $1 billion company or a $5 million company, is everybody's trying to get rich off one deal because they've put all their money back into it. And that's why you get these hellaciously absurd asking prices. And that's why I tell you to come up with a hellaciously low offering price. And a lot of people are just going to slam the door, fine. And in reality, it's a numbers game. They don't know it's a numbers game. So you won't be hurt when they slam the door in your face or hang up on you or tell you to go fuck yourself. I'm wishing, I know it's not true because I know you will be hurt. In the first 4, 5, or 6, or 700 cold calls you make, you're building up scar tissue. And you're getting smoother and smoother. And even the most ill or inept speaker in the room will be better on his 500th call. Now, some of you, we've had guys and gals. We had one guy, the first call he made. I still remember his name, Dave. First fucking call. It was about a 17 or 19, it was either 17.9 or 19.7 $million deal. The odds of that happening are so remote. And he had it financed, but he thought he could get a better deal, so and then they pulled the finance, and then he didn't make a deal for a year and a half. If the first person jumps through the phone on your bones, take it. Because the odds that's not the case, because you're stuttering, etc. But the first few hundred calls, you're not learning your craft because there's nothing to learn. but you're getting smoother and smoother. And I didn't show the slide, but we have a 1,200. Remember, we've got 3 people. One did it in 1,200 calls, one did it in 1,500 calls, one did it in 1,800. 1,800 calls was Bruce the Whip. This guy I'm talking about, Dave, was 1,500 calls, and Lucinda Burke was 1,200 calls. You heard Andrea say 1,613. You heard Belgian Waffle, 1,200 calls. So you take 1,200 calls a year. That's 100 a month, right? That's getting through to a seller in person, not leaving a message, getting through, okay? So that's 100 a month. So that's 25 a week. I know that's too many for you, Montenegro, but 25 a week. That's, because I know you're only gonna work 5 days a week. That's 5 a day. I know you're not gonna work 7 days a week. That's 5 a day. 5 fucking calls a day. What? 5. Well, I know, well, you can't even count to 5. Okay, so how little is that? 5 a day. I can make 5 calls. Well, if I could learn to brush my teeth without a toothbrush in my mouth, I could do it in the time I'm brushing my teeth. 5 a day. Yet they don't do it. Because your parents did such a number on you. And then where your parents left off, your first marriage, your first relationship, your second marriage, your third kid, all have beaten you down to where you are now. And that's why the kids do better, because they have less back. And if you should have a parent, at least one parent or a half a parent that was decent, that understood something about high performance, then the odds. My dad didn't train me. High performance never came out of his mouth because he related high performance with athletics. And so maybe he didn't want to hurt my feelings. God knows why, but we never talked about it, as I've said before. But as far as holding me accountable, strictly accountable, of course I rebelled against that. But that filtered over into the rest of my life. And today, of course, I've refined it the last 30, 40 years. But just 5 calls a day. Not theoretically. Who can't make 5 calls a day? I'm here to tell you, a lot of people. Fortunately, if all those tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions that look at my site were making 5 calls a day, there'd be no companies for us to buy. There'd be nothing, but they don't. You had a question, yes, sir?
It's actually more of a comment for everybody here. I can't quite understand why anybody would be scared to make a fucking call. Well, I used to work sales and I used to do phone banks in another job.
You stop right there. You used to work sales, okay? We've got a couple of salespeople in the room, or purported salespeople, or they said they sold when they, on the resume. If that's really true, I mean, they're ahead. But if you really can make calls, who was it that said he looked at the phone for an hour? I think it was Simon. I got another kid who was a polished salesman, and his wife said, you looked at the phone 40 minutes, when are you gonna pick it up? Or I'm gonna call Mr. Peña. When are you gonna pick it up? Back in the day when they used to call them a boiler room. Now they call them a call center. I ran a boiler room while I was in graduate school. And we had like a room this big, except they weren't like this. They were like, there'd be 3 people at each one of these tables. And I used to sit in a thing like this, a little higher chair, and I used to tape with masking tape. I used to ask, what hand do you wipe your butt with? And whatever that hand was, I would tape, and those were in the old days, phones. The phone around your hand with masking tape, that gray masking tape that shines. And if I didn't see that masking tape shining from the fucking light, boom, I'm on you. I used to make them literally. They had to ask permission to untape their hand to go to the potty. I took my sales skills at almost 95% closing, and then they gave me, they make a mistake, they take a great producer and they turn him into a fucking manager. And so, but I mean, we sold the shit off. I mean, and then we used to tape $100 bills. Ceiling wasn't this high. And the first guy that made a sale, he'd get on his shoulders, and he'd get on to get the $100 bill off the ceiling. Okay, I used to put $5,000 on the ceiling. I mean, we went to sales. We were selling sons of bitches. So I know how to train salespeople, and all those guys, not all, that's exact. 15, 20, 30 of them are all gazillionaires now because they went on and got involved in sales. And this was 1971, 50 years ago. And I get a Christmas card, and 8 or 6 or 7 of them are on the Forbes list. But selling is a great attribute, but not many of us have it.
Mr. Peña, if I can just give a word of advice really quickly. Guys, just have fun with it. It's a fucking act. Just be an actor. Just who gives a fuck? Just go forward. Don't worry about what they tell you. If they tell you to fuck off,
and they will tell you, but they know they're going to be told to fuck off, and that's why they don't do it. Because whereas I have rhino skin, as Sally would say, you have skin like silk. You have like onion skin. And again, because at the end of the day, you would rather be liked above all, because that links up with your insecurities, your lack of self-esteem. Why are women today so image conscious? in its conscious. Yeah, today, as opposed to 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Why can you hurt a little 12 or 13-year-old girl's feelings on Facebook? You know, you got a fat ass, or you have no tits, or whatever they say bad things to the little girl. Lack of self-esteem, low self-worth. We're fucked. What makes it easier for us? I mean, back in the late 90s, when they were calling me a cult leader, I was taking advantage of the disadvantage. There was just like the protesters at Exeter University, I was taking advantage of the disadvantage. And I don't think much of it then, and I don't think much of it from Exeter. But it's now, instead of having an Achilles heel, a weak link, they have their whole persona's weak. You know, like when I was a big power lifter, I was big, I wasn't that good. But, and they say, well, his abs need to be better, or his quads need to be better, or his stuff, okay? Well, now, nothing's good. Nothing's good. But it's good for us, God almighty. It's just, and Corona, now the war, God damn, I don't know what's going to be because things come in threes, so I'm not sure what the third thing is. But whatever it is, it's good for us. And you guys are making, the guys that are participating in the greatest transformation of wealth since the planet began 13.87 billion years ago are just crushing it. I said earlier, I don't know what word is beyond crushing it, but we've got little kids that, even though Peter and I love him, and he's coming to the seminar in May, he's a mouse. He was a mouse. Now he's the mouse that roared. And we've got guys that are even more mousy. I'm not sure that's good English. In fact, I know it's not good. Than Peter was. That are making tons of money. And again, money's not everything. But if you want to save the world, you got to save it with money, in my judgment. You got to save it with money. So make a bunch of money and go save the world. That's fine. I'll get credit indirectly, but I'm not worried about that. I never have been. The fact that I live vicariously. I lived vicariously through you when you weren't doing shit for 22 years. So now I'm living vicariously since, I'm an overnight success. The very wealthy guys I know that I've been a success all my life. It's a good thing that I'm not, I didn't wait those first 10, 15 years for the accolades to come in. Otherwise, I'd be wanting. But again, because I believed in myself, I kept doing it. And I, eventually, with the help of internet and social media, with Brian Rose getting me on his show in 2014, now, the rest is history. I hate to admit it, but social media plays an important part in the world today. I don't like that. I think it's wrong because that same social media is hurting young kids on Facebook and that, and they take that stuff seriously, and that's why you don't have the interpersonal skills, because a lot of the kids in this room have grown up behind a laptop. And that's why you like not going to the companies to interview them. That's why you like not going to the bank. That's why, but you've heard the people, they see them in person. They see them in person. Not necessarily calling a shoe leather like Bruce Whipple and I did back, many decades ago. But it's there for the taking. It's there for the taking. And it all starts with the chairman. And then, you're leveraging off the chairman. And then, the motivated seller. And you can make a lot of money. And then if you don't want the money for yourself, you can do good with it. And, even though I poo-poo it, when we went to the school now, we're starting a scholarship for my grammar school. Not just because Marilyn Monroe went. Somebody teased me about that. But, I wish I was in the school when she was there. But she came to the hood and she lived in East LA. I can just see her in her little training bra. But, so we're gonna start a deal for that, which, I was sad to see my church was closed down because of Corona, my Catholic church school was closed down. But you can do magical things with money. You can do magical things. And you can do magical things for yourself. So let's start with yourself first, and then let's move on to if you're charitable enough. Who's my 5:30? Who's my 6? Double dose. Who's my 6:30? Holy shit! We're gonna get the threes of you. Okay, tonight dinner's in there. It's fish and chip night. This is, I think, Sally's favorite night. It's one of my favorite nights, too. We'll see you later then. Bye-bye, YouTube. We'll see how much time is it? I'll see you in 13 minutes, young man.